for weddings and honeymoons. And one of the other latest products is agro-tourism. We have seen visitors wanting to see, especially tea and coffee, the product from the farm to the table to the cup, and that is gaining traction. Gastronomy, the whole issue of culinary experience, and halal tourism is also popular. Others are city breaks, event and festivals, and recently during the lunar eclipse, we launched astro-tourism because Kenyan skies have been said to be the VVIP of the cosmos, and many travelers are targeting stargazing and the whole of the sky space, so that we have many more products on offer. However, safari and beach will continue to be key drivers of tourism numbers for Kenya, even as we diversify into other products that Kenya has to offer, and we have elaborated on those products. The country, through the ministry, is also developing and supporting new products and innovations, such as development of viewpoints and observation decks to allow visitors to appreciate the landscapes, such as the Great Rift Valley, mountains and hills, increased investments by global hotel chains across the country, particularly along the Kenyan coast. We have just come back from the Kenyan Coast Investment Conference, and we saw a lot of potential at the coast. We have also world-class mountain climbing, the trekking, hiking, curated man-made attractions to complement the nature-based attractions. We have training and certification of various categories of guides by region and product, and also establishment of tourism product clubs to enhance public-private sector collaboration. Item number 3 is that leveraging digital marketing and smart technologies. Under the Magical Kenya brand, the Kenya Tourism Board has expanded digital footprint, leveraging social media, influencer partnerships, and targeted content to reach high potential markets. Investment in smart tourism platforms, including AI-driven approaches, is ongoing to personalize and optimize visitor experiences. The local youth are being supported to develop tourism-related digital innovations that enhance discovery and also bookings, and we have seen a lot of Kenyan content and creatives in the social media. The Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife is establishing a Youth in Tourism and Conservation Innovation Hub to empower youth as agents of change in the tourism sector. This hub will be a central point for coordinating youth-led tourism initiatives. The other initiatives include supporting MSMEs and job creation in line with the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. The ministry is supporting community-based tourism initiatives, equipping operators, artisans, and guides with training, financing leakages, and market access. And we are working with county governments to bring more rural and peri-urban areas into the tourism ecosystem. MSMEs and youth entrepreneurs are also being empowered to create income-generating tourism services and experiences, and this is in partnership with the relevant ministries. Other policy interventions and initiatives that are ongoing is establishment of national tourism amenities. This initiative involves enhancing tourism infrastructure across all circuits to improve visitor experience, comfort and accessibility, safety, security, and overall sector sustainability. We are also enhancing tourism.
Honorable CS?
Yes.
I'll request you to since we already have that presentation,
Yes.
to summarize the remainder, because members would want to ask questions. Yeah.
Yes, so the other policies, we have enhanced coastal beach management, capacity building in the tourism sector, strengthening tourism policy, regulatory and governance, under the ongoing review of the tourism bill and the wildlife conservation bill, enhancing safety and security in tourism zones, fostering partnerships and collaborations. Just to summarize, that these initiatives are structured to ensure that as tourism grows, it uplifts Kenyan lives across all regions and income levels. And this is the heart of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, which the ministry is implementing. It is my hope that this response will clarify the information that was in this question. And just to summarize, that we've had a very good performance in the tourism sector in Kenya. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable CS. Honorable Senators, just to declare a little interest, Honorable CS Rebecca Miano was my classmate, indeed roommate, at the Parklands campus. So, but to indicate, you can see how thorough the brief is, but it is, the members will determine whether she has adequately answered the questions. Honorable Korir, you have 2 more supplementary questions to add, and then the CS can answer.
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Allow me to really congratulate the Honorable CS for a very elaborate response to the questions that I raised. Indeed, I want to say that she is trying her best, and it's only that, Honorable Speaker, we still have a long way to go, bearing in mind that the international arrivals are still at 2.4, and the third one, or the fourth one, being at 8.9, and the third one being at 10.2. So we are still far much behind in terms of really making sure that we are at pace with the first countries. But I want to say that indeed she has tried her best. Finally, Madam Speaker, allow me to just have a supplementary question on how is the ministry working with other agencies to counter the negative international perception about the Kenya's safety as a destination. And finally, Madam Speaker, is the issue of whether there is a framework to support small and medium enterprise, SMEs, in tourism value chain. Thank you.
Honorable CS.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and members. The Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife is working closely with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, with the Ministry of Interior, and other relevant ministries including the foreign missions, to ensure that the narratives that could mislead our visitors are well countered with factual information and data. I know that we are in consultation with some of the missions of the countries where we have seen either travel advisories or other information that presents our country in a lens that is probably not correct. And this is bearing quite a lot of fruit. A lot has to be done. But also the ultimate is enhanced marketing and to showcase the products that Kenya has. Lately, we have also seen increased endorsement and testimonials from the visitors themselves who come in and then just give a description of what they found in Kenya. We are also conducting exit interviews from our visitors, and we believe that all these efforts are going to change the narrative. We also would like to recognize the effort by His Excellency, who is our Tourism Ambassador 001, in every international forum where he goes. He has a statement about Kenya tourism products, and this has really cemented Kenya's position. And from where we are, the world has noticed what Kenya has to offer. And we have the tourism regulated enterprises that are working together, the tour operators, the Kenya Tourism Federation. All this collaboration and partnership is steadily but consistently bringing the right narrative that Kenya should have. In terms of the MSMEs and opportunities, we have a partnership with the Ministry of MSMEs and cooperatives to see how we can support eco-tourism, eco-lodges, establishments that are startups, and that is helping. The other support is classification and accreditation of the smaller hotels and establishments so that we can give them the validity to welcome international visitors. We have tourism regulated enterprises which recognize MSMEs in the 9th schedule, such as curio dealers, local boat operators, homestays, among other stays. And if you look at the Kenya Kwanza or the manifesto that the government is implementing, the broad-based government is implementing, there is an undertaking to support at the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, the startups. In terms of access to financing, we have organizations like Kenya Development Corporation that offers affordable financing and accessible financing for startups. So in this space, it is one of our focus areas so that nobody is left behind. I thank you.
Honorable Senators, now we move to questions by senators. Please remember the rules so that everybody can have a chance. One question per senator, and go straight to the question so that everybody gets a chance. Senator Osotsi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I must acknowledge that that response was a very comprehensive response. But then I was looking for, in the strategies, I did not see a strategy around how to leverage our various diplomatic missions for the purpose of promoting tourism. Madam Speaker, I have had an opportunity.
The question, Senator Osotsi, don't be
It's
tempted to
coming.
go that way.
Madam Speaker, is coming. I had an opportunity to visit a number of very strategic embassies, and I was disappointed that nothing happens in those embassies in relation to promotion of tourism. So my question to the CS is what arrangement is there between her ministry and the Ministry of Foreign Relations on the matter of promotion of tourism in this country?
Two more questions, and then the CS will answer, and then we'll take another final set. Senator Miraj.
Asante Bispika, kwanza nimpongeze waziri kwa kazi nzuri ambayo anafanya, lakini pia niendeleze mjadala ambao tulikuwa nao kule Mombasa wakati tulikuwa tunapokea ile meli ya watalii. Kulikuwa na ile hitilafu ya malipo ya wageni wanapokuja. So wageni wengi walikuwa wanabaki katika meli, wanashindwa kushuka na kutumia senti ambazo wako nazo. Je, kama wizara mmefikia wapi kuona ya kwamba wageni wote ambao wanakuja na zile meli za kitalii wanaweza kushuka bila vikwazo ili tuweze kuzipata zile senti? Asante Bispika.
Senator Eddie Okech.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I do note always when the minister comes here, and I do note this with serious concern, that successive ministries of tourism have over the years not budgeted for for investments in tourism in the Western Kenya region. And this would be, the Western would be Nyanza and the traditional Western counties that, as we know them. And Madam Speaker, even in the presentation that I've seen here, despite being in depth as we have seen, I haven't seen Kenya shillings to Kenya shillings investment and targeted coordination towards this area. So my question is, Madam Speaker, how has this particular ministry included in its development budget funds for Western region tourism, and particularly looking at areas such as Lake Victoria in general, where there is serious maritime opportunity, Ruma National Park in Homa Bay, Mount Elgon, this is in Bungoma County, Webuye Falls, and even in where I come from, Migori County, Thimlichoinga. What are the strategies, and is there a proper coordination of those investment and funds with county government so that as senators, we can be able to track and trail that kind of investment to be able to bolster tourism in that area? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
CS, you may answer those, and then we take the next.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. It is true that our diplomatic missions in various countries are the front line or point of access into those countries. And whereas we have trade attachés, we are in our proposals proposing tourism attachés to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. But we are cooperating with Kenya missions in scouting for opportunities to participate in tourism expos in those countries, to showcase Kenyan tourism products, negotiate bilateral air service agreements, and even MOUs in tourism promotion in those particular countries. We have various forums like the World Trade Market that is held in London every year. We work together with Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the mission in UK to participate, and we are already planning for that. Berlin is another one, and many others. We have also proposed a framework that we have sent to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of closer collaboration, and that also includes using online platforms and a digital tool that we are coming with called Kuza Utalii, where missions can then utilize that to market our country. So we will continue working closely with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and our missions abroad to ensure effective marketing for our country. The next question is about the cruise tourism. And when we welcomed the cruise ships earlier this year, several challenges were identified that stopped visitors disembarking from the vessels and getting into Mombasa and other areas. And the main one was the requirement to apply for an ETA individually on arrival. His Excellency the President did give us a directive that we work with the cruise lines and the Ministry of Immigration so that we utilize the information already available and the manifest, so that by the time they arrive, their immigration documents and the ETAs have been processed, and that will enable them even have already planned tourism circuits the whole day. So Mheshimiwa, tumefanya mengi kutatua hilo changamoto ambalo tulielezwa siku hiyo, na rais alituamurisha tuhakikishe ya kwamba hayo yametatuliwa. Nina furaha kukujulisha kupitia Wizara ya Immigration hayo yametatuliwa. Na sasa kutoka mwezi wa 10 mpaka mwezi wa 3, ile season ya meli na cruise ship inaanza, na tutatarajia ya kwamba tutapata wageni wengi wakitoka kwa meli kwenda mjini, hata kwenda safari kama ni Savo ama pahali pengine. Asanti. The next question is on the Western Kenya circuit. Last year, in 2024, specifically on 27th of September, which was the UN Tourism Day for 2024, we unveiled 9 tourism circuits across the country. And that included the Western Circuit. The Western Circuit is a very rich tourism circuit. We are working together with the county governments, just because of the devolved functions, to map out the tourism attractions per circuit so that we develop them and be able to market them at the national level using the Kenya Tourism Board and other facilities that we have. In terms of the Western Circuit, we have very, very unique products. And last year, we spent a whole week in the Western Circuit, 1 week towards the end of September. We unveiled and showed the country and the world what there is. And in the month of August this year again, we spent 2 full days at the Ruma National Park, the wide Nyanza area. But I want to say there's still a lot to be done, but we need very close collaboration with the counties, with other ministries, so that we continue packaging the Western Circuit properly. So it is part of our circuit, and we are not leaving it behind.
Honorable CS, as you will answer the others, I think Senator Okech, and I take an interest in that area, had asked how much budget your ministry has put for the Western Kenya circuit, but you will answer it as you answer the others. Next set, Senator Cherarke.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Mine is a straightforward question. Is there the Ministry of Tourism policy on the use of sportsmen and women? Like, for example, you see Rwanda, whenever Arsenal plays, in their jerseys, it is written, "Visit Rwanda." I've seen our athletes when they were running in Tokyo, There was no indication that you should visit Kenya. So what is the partnership, or is there a policy in place? I yield, Madam Speaker.
Senator Faki.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First, I wish to commend the CS for the elaborate responses that she has given. And I also want to commend her on the resumption of some of the international flights to Mombasa. I can see Turkish airlines are coming in. Rwanda is also coming in. Uganda is already flying. And I think going forward, we're expecting also maybe British Airways and KLM to be on the queue. However, my question is on regard to the Mamangina waterfront. During your last visit in this chamber, you indicated that plans are underway to hand over the Mamangina waterfront to the county government of Mombasa. How far have you been able to actualize that? Because it's now a big problem for the people of Mombasa, because whenever they want to host their events, they have to run to the ministry for permission to be able to use the Mamangina waterfront grounds. Yet, they belong to the county government of Mombasa. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Kisang.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also join my colleagues to commend the CS for elaborate answers. However, it looks like the minister has focused more on tourism and neglected wildlife. The reason why I'm saying this, Madam Speaker, the people of Elgeyo-Marakwet County along Keria Valley are suffering because of elephants. They have destroyed our mangoes, our oranges, and it looks like there's no budget that has been given to KWS for compensation. So I want to find out from the CS, what plans do you have to ensure the people of Elgeyo-Marakwet County are compensated because the elephants have destroyed the crops, and these are the real bottom, and this is government is bottom up, and we are not assisting those who are in the bottom. What plans do you have, and also to ensure Rimoi National Game Reserve is fenced by the national government in conjunction with the county government of Elgeyo-Marakwet County? Otherwise, we might the elephants might be used as food.
Senator Mandago.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I'm just wondering whether the shortage of meat in Elgeyo-Marakwet, while we know very well they are very tasty coats.
Senator Mandago, would you kindly ask your question?
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, my question to the Cabinet Secretary is on sports tourism. I see as part of the strategies to expand the menu in tourism is sports tourism. What I would like to know is what is it particularly the ministry is doing in terms of sports tourism in athletics? Because that is what can open up Elgeyo-Marakwet, Nandi, Uasin Gishu, Trans Nzoia, and Cherangani. And as they do that, Madam Speaker,
there's only one question, please.
I'm still continuing with the question. It's very long, Madam Speaker. I also wanted to ask that in 2018-19, there was provision in the budget under the ministry for feasibility study for a cable car in Elgeyo-Marakwet from Iten to Kabarnet, and that a possibility of being extended all the way to Isiolo. I wanted to know from the Cabinet Secretary whether it is still in plan and what they are planning to do, and also in relation to the elephants.
Senator, Senator Mandago, I have indulged you for 2 questions. Senator, CS, you will answer only the 2 questions, the one on the cable car and the one on the sports tourism. Senator Mazayo, I'm told Senator Faki will ask the question for you.
Asante, Mr. Speaker. Kwa niaba ya Senator Mazayo, Mheshimiwa Waziri, kumekuwa na kero la ndovu katika maeneo ya Ganze katika kaunti ya Kilifi. Hata jana kuna mtu mmoja alikanyagwa na ndovu akauliwa jana saa 8. Kwa hivyo kero hilo limeongezeka mpaka sasa wakazi wako tayari kuchukua mishale na mikuki.
Senator Faki,
Waingia
please ask the
msituni.
question.
Yes, Madam Speaker. Je, wizara inachukua hatua gani kukabiliana na kero hili la ndovu, kwa sababu wamekula mimea mpaka sasa wanaua wananchi katika eneo la Ganze, Mheshimiwa Spika? Asante.
Finally, Senator Consolata, and then the CS can answer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My concern is about two recipes for tourism development. And this is about peace and security diplomacy as being key recipes for tourism and wildlife development. I would like Madam CS to tell us about what the ministry has put in place in regard to securing and protecting Kenya's territorial integrity, especially along our borders, because those are the avenues through which most tourists enter into our country. And on the same wavelength, I come from Bungoma County, where we have...
Senator Consolata, you are guided on the rules. It's one question. Have you done the question?
I'm guided,
Yes.
although it was the same.
No, just one question.
Thank
That
you,
is
Madam
the-
Speaker.
That is the rule.
I submit.
Thank you. CS, you have under 7 minutes to answer all those questions.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. In terms of the budget, I don't have the exact figures today, but would be willing to look at that. The next question.
So you can submit that budget in the next 2 weeks?
Yes. The next question was on the partnership that we are having with sportsmen and sportswomen in order to promote tourism. Currently, we have arrangements with the sportsmen and sportswomen to be Kenya's tourism ambassadors, with some of them, for example, Eliud Kipchoge, Faith Kipyegon, and others. We are also supporting them when they go for those events. We go behind with the Magical Kenya brand, including financial support. We have seen that sports tourism is one of the next frontiers in Kenya's tourism. And in that regard, we want to promote actively high altitude training center to the international tourists, encouraging them to come and interact with our athletes, to talk to them, eat with them, touch them, and that interaction is gaining traction. We will work together with the Ministry of Sports to ensure that the product is well developed. We have, I was asked about the partnerships that we have seen in other countries. Those partnerships, we have done our research and we have information. They are quite costly. Some of the partnership costs up to 4 billion Kenya shillings annually. And we are at this stage evaluating which ones can be with the highest impact, with the best affordability. But we have quite a lot of expressions of interest, but we are carefully, together with the relevant ministry and other government authorities, trying to see which will be best for Kenya. On Mama Ngina front, consultations are still ongoing between the county government and the national government. We shall ensure that we hasten the discussions. We were there over the weekend. It is evident that we need to develop Mama Ngina waterfront, for functions, for tourism activities. It is a very premium location, but we will hasten the consultations and the action plan that needs to follow. I undertake to do that. In terms of human-wildlife conflict, I want to assure the Honorable Senator that we have not neglected the wildlife segment. It is one of our priorities. The ministry receives about 950 million annually since His Excellency got into office. He has prioritized the human-wildlife conflict issues, both in terms of mitigation and compensation, and we will be glad to have specific discussions with Elgeyo Marakwet. On Rimoy National Reserve, we are working with the county to address the human-wildlife conflict, and we have a directive about the fencing, and there are discussions ongoing with the National Treasury in order to provide a budget. Indeed, we are in touch with the county government that have invited us. At the earliest opportunity, we shall be visiting Elgeyo Marakwet. But on all these issues, we have the review of wildlife conservation bill that is ongoing, so that we streamline these human-wildlife conflict issues, including the compensation, public awareness and education, employment of more rangers has also happened for the first time in 10 years. Last year we had a pass-out parade of 1,270 rangers, which was historic because that had lagged for 10 years. We also have other projects like fencing in the hotspots, and that takes me right straight to the question about the human-wildlife conflict in Kilifi. We were recently in Kilifi together with all the leaders to discuss the matters of human-wildlife conflict. His Excellency the President has also guided us, and we are working on how to fence that area. We know particularly elephants. The population has quite increased, and therefore the conflict has increased, but we are putting all measures to manage the conflict that has ensued. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable, which question? The cable car. Okay, CS. And Senator Consolata, which was your question? Just say which one it was so that...
On territorial integrity, the safeguards put in place by the ministry.
CS, the two questions? The cable car? And
yes, I beg your pardon, Madam Speaker. The standards for the cable car are yet to be finalized by the KEBS. And we are following that in consultation with other stakeholders. But I will go back and find out where the process has been. But it's one of those things that can really promote tourism. Yeah. On territorial security, security is in consultation with the Ministry of Defense and the Ministry of Interior, together with the Tourism Police Unit, and we are having constant consultation, realizing that security is one of the requirements for tourism. Every tourist that leaves their country to travel to another always looks at the security issues, and therefore it is on our highest radar in consultation with all these relevant authorities. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable CS, for answering all the questions that were put before you. We can now release you and we move on. Honorable Senators, we will defer orders 8, 9, and 10 because the movers are not here. Next order, please.
Order number 11, motion, welfare of interns working under the Public Service Commission, PSC.
Senator Cherarki.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As I rise to move that aware that the Public Service Commission has provided internship opportunities to many youths in various government departments and agencies for a period not exceeding 1 year, pursuant to guidelines on management of the Public Service Internship Program. And therefore, Madam Speaker, in appreciating that this motion, since its inception, the internship program in Kenya has been instrumental in providing experience to graduates, enhancing employability, offering networking opportunities, and has on a number of occasions led to a full-time jobs to graduates. Madam Speaker, concerned that internship in this country are limited in number, skewed in distribution across government departments and agencies, lack clear pathway to permanent employment, have inadequate opportunities for skill development. And Madam Speaker, that we should move from, as I move, that internship is insufficient. The stipends that they are giving out of ranging from 15,000 to 30,000 is not sufficient because of high cost of living, especially in cities like Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, and Eldoret, among other cities where the cost of living. Now, therefore, Madam Speaker, as I move, that we increase the stipend offered to this, Madam Speaker. So the following
Senator
comments.
Cherarki, you're not discussing, you're reading the motion as is. Please read it as is.
Now, therefore, my reading culture is different, Madam Speaker. I think your table clerks are not understanding me because I'm reading everything that is here. Okay, let me read. I think the Kenyan style is you must look at it as, let me look at it as I read. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves that the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service and Human Capital Development, in consultation with Public Service Commission, reviews the guidelines to the Public Service Internship Program of October 2019 with a view to, 1, increase the stipend offered to interns to cushion them against high cost of living, and number 2, put in place mechanisms to promote and reward innovations by interns. Madam Speaker, as I make a few comments on this, when you look under Article 55 of the Constitution, it has specifically dealt on the youth issue. Madam Speaker, 2 years ago, in 2024, we had a youth revolution and uprising of Gen Z. One of the concerns was opportunities, both employment and any other opportunity to make life bearable for them, considering most of them, Madam Speaker, have gone to school. And therefore, in fact, what the young people rose up in article is already in our Constitution. It is us to implement, Madam Speaker, because when you read Article 55, and I'm pleased that you are a learned senior in this profession, one of the roles that the government must provide is, 1, access relevant education and training, which is being done. We have had a discussion today, the entire morning, Madam Speaker. Number 2, have opportunities to associate, be represented in political, social, economic, and other spheres of life. And number C, access employment. And Madam Speaker, finally, are protected from harmful cultural practices and exploitation. So the Constitution has provided what we should do for the young people. One of them is accessing employment. But since we cannot hire most of them, Madam Speaker, and you know there is population explosion. We are approaching 55 million. And Madam Speaker, yesterday I mentioned something about Japanese two-child policy. And many people are bashing me. I've said the 2-child, you give birth to 2 child, the government will take care of your 2 children. But if you add the third one and the fourth one, you take care of yourself. So that we have quality life. You can see how Japanese have operated. And I know Africans, Madam Speaker, our wealth is in children. The more you have children, the more is the wealth, which is not the situation now. That is why we are straining most of education facilities, health facilities. So my proposal is that as we have population explosion in this country, let us adopt the Japanese two-child policy. The government takes care of your two children. If you add the third and the fourth and the many, then you take care of your children. And it boils down to opportunities that we have in this country, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Senators, it is now 1 p.m., time to adjourn the Senate. Senator Cherargei will have 15 minutes to continue moving when the motion is next on the order paper. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until later today, Wednesday, 1st October 2025 at 2:30 p.m.